Welcome everybody. Raul Luna here from headquarter offices. Welcome to Luna Fires episode 123. Hey, I got something super special for you guys. I'm just going to go straight to the point. Let me know, leave me a comment, hit like, and let me know what is it that you actually take from this episode, all right? So I want to talk to you about the result code. There is a code of the results that we've been having, which I think there's a lot that you can take away from, that you can learn so that you can compress. How is it that you can grab 40 years, 40 years and compress it in 5 or 10 years? Many people don't understand that, depending on the type of vehicle that you're actually driving, it will depend if you're compressing or if you're just taking a lifetime. So I want you to pay very close attention to this, because I learned this many years ago. When I started to study how people behave and how is it that they actually create their own lives and things of that nature. So I'm going to make a very brief assumption. Assume that you start working at the age of 20 years of age, and that you work for 40 years nonstop. It's just, nonsense, maybe assumption, because many people don't do 40 years nonstop, but let's just assume for a moment. And let's assume that you're making $35 an hour, $35 an hour. That's going to put you, times 8 a day, times 5 a week, times 52 weeks, times 40 years. That puts you right at $2.9 million that you're going to be making literally in a 40-year span. The interesting thing is this, most people, and that's just assuming 35, and I'm grabbing as the average. It could be more, it could be less. The interesting thing is that you don't get the $3 million, so to speak, all in one shot. For most of the people, when they reach that age, they basically don't have nothing to basically, fall for. And the reality of this is that throughout life, I've learned that when we start doing anything we do, whatever is it that you're doing today in the industry that you're doing, you are either driving a bicycle, driving a car, driving a plane, or driving, in this case, a how would you call the skyrocket? Okay, now you're either going to have a skyrocket or a rocket. You're either driving a rocket, a plane, a car, or a bicycle. And depending of the vehicle, depending on which vehicle you're going to drive, is going to require different type of knowledge. For instance, a bicycle doesn't require a whole lot of knowledge. Low risk, very slow moving, or very slow movement, takes you forever if you wanted to go from California to New York, or New York to California. So anyone can learn to, drive a bicycle. And then some people graduate into a car. Well, a car, a little bit more risk. You need a little bit more knowledge. You're going to require a little bit more focus. But most people can learn how to obviously manage how to drive a vehicle. In this case, a car. And then guess what? Some people graduate into a plane. Okay, into a plane. Now with a car, you can go from California to New York, maybe in about a week and a half, I don't know, or, vice versa. The reality is, as you're actually graduating from vehicles, you're going faster. The responsibility grows. You're going faster, requires specialized knowledge, requires more responsibility, more discipline. But at the same time, you compress more. So, for instance, if you go and learn how to drive a plane from California to New York, it's about what, 5-6 hours? Okay. Now you're going at, some great speeds, right? So picture this. Why some people grab 40 years or 400 years and compress it into a decade? Because they got a faster vehicle and they understand that they got to graduate and continuously be graduating. Now, if you do it with a rocket is going to go from California to New York in record time. You're looking maybe minutes or seconds, if anything. The reality is that it's going to require a heck of a lot more. Now, in real estate, being a phenomenal industry to be in, you could be in real estate and still be driving a bicycle, taking for freaking ever, or a car, being a little bit faster, or a plane where it's going to require more specialized knowledge. It's going to require obviously more discipline, more focus, more responsibility, higher risk, but it's compressing a lot of time. Okay. And then a rocket. And see, some people, when you see people that basically they achieve what they're going to normally achieve in 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 years, and they do it in a decade, it's because they were willing to change the vehicle. Okay. But they were also willing to upgrade the pilot. And you being the pilot, you need to acquire that knowledge. You need to be, the pilot with the knowledge, with the discipline, with, obviously the wherewithal, as a great pilot. But the vehicle also matters big time, and the industry matters as well. So imagine the industry, imagine the vehicle, and now the pilot. You're going to need the trio combination in order to compress things. That's why the result code says that literally you're going to need to make sure that your vehicle is a plane or a rocket, okay, and that you as the pilot are actually upgrading your knowledge so that you can learn how to drive those at Mach speeds that is going to compress things for you. So if you want greater, amazing results, you need to make sure that you got a fast vehicle, real estate. It could be a plane, it could be a rocket, but it could also be a bicycle. It will depend on what? Depend on the pilot, you as the pilot. If you go on a plane and you as the pilot don't have the knowledge, the resources, you're going to crash and you will never get to see light again, right? The same thing if you go on a rocket. On a bicycle, you can fall, nothing happens. Maybe a scratch here and there and all great, right? So the reality is this: you want to really honestly compress 40, 50 years into 5 or 10. Well, make sure that you upgrade on the vehicle and that you upgrade the knowledge on the pilot, and that you got to be consistent if you're serious about it. All right. Anyways, congratulations for being here with me today. I wanted to give you some perspective. If you want to continue to learn about real estate investing, go to raullunaacademy.com and you will be able to get some free lessons there, as well as other ones that are paid. So thank you so much for being with me for a few minutes. A virtual hug from wherever you are. And always remember that there's always a better way. There's always more. And truly, at the end, it really only depends on you. See you next time.